Look at this guy go. These new leads are awesome, right? Gosh, I haven't played around with these much before, but you can see that I've mimicked what some other people have done here, and I have him following this chicken back and forth on a minecart, and there's obviously a lot of potential there. I do feel like, so what I'm going for here is I'm building a castle, and I want iron golems to patrol along the top wall of the castle. And this guy, this is a lot of energy for this guy to maintain all day. I don't think this is a patrolling pace. So I tried having a boat in a water stream too and having it kind of circle like this. Uh, if I had been willing to make this thing 3 wide with the boat track, it might have worked. But as it is, I wanted it to be 1 wide because it's got to fit actually in between a machine that kind of takes up space here and here. That's a whole other story. You'll see it in a different video. You can slow down this minecart by replacing some of these powered rails with not powered rails. But if the chicken ever for some reason stops on a not powered rail, which can happen due to chunk loading and unloading, it could happen mainly that, but there might be other reasons. Anyway, if it ever ends up stopping, you get a fully broken system, and you'd have to climb up your wall, climb in with the chicken, and give him a little bump to get him going again, and you wouldn't again be guaranteed that it would keep going for any meaningful amount of time. So this is too fast. There's probably a couple ways to slow this down. This is what I picked. Let's have him walk at the pace of a zombie. You may already see one of the problems with this, but there's 2 problems with this. So this zombie pathfinds back and forth between these turtle eggs. And the first problem with this is that actually, no, it doesn't. So as you just saw, when it goes over these pressure plates, it activates this piston here, and it can no longer pathfind to these eggs. It could, if it wanted to, pathfind to these eggs. They might be too far away. It could be that if I put them closer, it would notice them. Or they have to be jumpable. No, so even distance is not fixing it. But if I... Okay, well, anyway, point being, the pathfinding's all wacky, and I can't be placing and unplacing eggs in this design. So this does not work. The other thing that does not work about it is that although I can put the lead on the golem, I cannot ever attach a lead to a zombie. So this design is forfeit. So in this design, the golem is actually in charge of the pathfinding back and forth. And we have him look at a pillager. But what we want is when he's looking at this pillager, we want that to actually be blocked off. And we want to change his mind and get him to walk over to this pillager. Now, eventually he's going to get bored looking at this stone. He's going to take a look over here. Do it, man. Yeah. And so the moment he starts walking over and he walks across these pressure plates, this guy's revealed, this guy's blocked off. And so we're doing a constant, we're maximizing the time on his walk that he spends being bored, so that his timer for how long he has spent not looking at this guy is already counting when he's walking across. So bonuses of this are huge in that he walks at a normal golem pace instead of this fast pace from before. And obviously it works as compared to the last design, which flat out did not. But the negatives are these pressure plates are clicky clacky. And if anybody flies by in the elytra, they're gonna see them. I don't need pressure plates all over my design. And the other one is these guys are up too high. If I could, all we need is for him to see their face. If we could put their face down here, that we'd have more opportunities for decoration of the castle without having to account for there being pillagers there. So this next design also didn't work, but it was a test. You can see that this guy is over here. He does not have eye contact with this pillager. He does have eye contact theoretically with the pillager over there, but it's just barely too far away. So I tried to extend this a little bit because you can see over here that he doesn't always walk the full distance across. So I said to myself, if he's not going to walk all the way, we might as well get an extra block or two in the middle here where if he stops on this block, he would be able to see this guy. But he's just barely out of range. So if we give him a tap here, you'll see that he actually immediately sees the other guy and heads over to him. So this design can go for a little bit, but eventually he does walk all the way up to one of these walls, and he gets stuck there because he can't see the other guy. Here's what I've got. So this one is back to the length of the first one, and when he goes back and forth, he just gets to read his little guard book. The guard book says, this is how to be a guard. And it has all these instructions. But when he's looking at it, he cannot see the pillager back there. What he can't see is the pillager over here. And part of the way over, as he's walking over, his eyesight will get cut off automatically just by the bottom of the lectern coming into view. And I played around with a bunch of stuff here. I played around with changing his line of sight. Among other things, changing the height of the block. He's between the height of the block he's standing on and the depth of the block right in front of his face. We can affect the instant that this golem goes from being able to make eye contact with him versus not. So right now they can make eye contact, but barely. And that's what we need. We want this golem to lose eye contact the moment he starts walking. So the moment this golem starts walking towards him, we're going to lose eye contact in 3, 2, 1. So he immediately lost eye contact. He immediately started his timer. And so we can put up some sort of decoration that hides this much and just say this golem spends a lot of time reading the company manual. And I actually kind of wonder if that would work here as well. So I like it when his face ends up right by the reading material. On the other hand, it seems like it's directional, where at this end he always ends up farther away, and I don't really know why that is. I think that must be some inconsistency directionally with their pathfinding. So even though I pushed him up farther close to this, he came up close to this one, and now he's probably going to stand too far from this one too. So I don't know what the deal is there. I don't think I can fix that, but maybe what I'll do is maybe instead of the reading material, maybe I'll put a painting right here. Oh, I can't do that. Maybe I'll put a painting or a map right here, because the direction his eyes face is more consistent with looking at something that's kind of right here. I'll put some other posting right here, like a guard schedule or whatever. So keep your eyes tuned for whatever other video that is, where you're going to see this built out in survival up on a castle. And in the meantime, I have been Leave Steve. I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching.